Hi, I'm Martin Hume Cobb, and welcome to Wisdom Lab, where we uncover and clarify wisdom for everyday living. This is part 2 of Escaping the Comparison Cage. I encourage you to watch part 1, where I reveal the elements and mechanics of the comparison cage. To gain the most from this second video, you'll need to watch part 1 first. So in this video, I'm contrasting the differences between our worth and our works in detail. In this context, our worth relates to our inherent worth as a unique human being, and our works relate to all our thoughts, feelings, words, and actions. This is important because it is this distinction which creates the necessary understanding to be able to fully love and accept yourself, while at the same time being energized to learn and grow towards mastery in the important areas of your life. It's about being able to have a sense of gratitude and a desire for more at the same time. The ability to feel deep contentment and yet still maintain a sense of hunger and drive. These imbalances create a powerful, healthy, sustainable motivation system. As I outlined in part 1, we all fall into a cycle of some sort of self-deception when we as children try to understand and deal with the complexity of life and the confusing contradictions of the influential adults in our lives. In these formative years up to the age of 8, we simply don't have the experience or the tools to be able to see ourselves and the world around us with the clarity required to not be ensnared in a diverse range of misunderstandings about life. Yet these are our formative years when we form our beliefs and our strategies for living. As we grow, we tend to tweak and modify our conscious beliefs, but we tend not to question the deeper, more unconscious beliefs formed when we were very young. This is because these deeper and often toxic beliefs have suppressed pain and anger associated with the memories of their formation. Also, because they're usually related to our mother or another primary caregiver, we feel deep guilt and shame if we have any unresolved negative feelings associated with them. So we avoid examination of this inner conflict and allow our present and our future to be poisoned by our past. Our most important core beliefs are about our worth, our worthiness to be fully loved, and our capacity to love others. These beliefs shape our intimate and close relationships and are shaped in many ways by the type of relationship we had with our mother. This was our foundational love relationship. But it was fraught and difficult for us because human babies are very needy and are very vulnerable for the first few years of life. This makes mothering very difficult and potentially very stressful. Motherhood is a magical, powerful, creative role to step into. But the stress of it often triggers powerful negative emotions and behaviors which can traumatize the child. Because we're so vulnerable as a child, we have to believe our mother cares for us to stop ourselves from being in a continuous state of panic. So to explain our negative interactions with our parents when we're very young, we tend to blame ourselves and to see ourselves as not good enough to be loved and fully cared for. This is why feelings of unworthiness imposter syndrome, and various not enough beliefs are so common and tend to run so deep. They've often been suppressed because the pain of rejection and its associated fears of abandonment feels like death to us. The memories associated with these traumatic episodes are suppressed to protect us. But what tends to happen is when similar events arise in our present life, especially in our closest relationships, this suppressed fear and anger will appear, often suddenly. This is our unconscious seeking to protect us from what it perceives as a real danger. Fear, anxiety, and anger are part of our primal self-protection system, which is inbuilt to guide us away from threat and danger and to move us towards safety and security. When there is an intense emotional reaction, you might wonder where this is from. You then might attribute your negative reaction to your partner's behavior or your situation, because taking responsibility for your emotional reactivity is too difficult to face at this time. Many relationships die because people within them aren't willing to do the work of owning their personal baggage from their childhood experiences. The reality is that we all have unresolved issues that show up in our close relationships. But escaping one relationship and the painful feelings that might have arisen probably means it's likely those feelings will show up in a similar way in the next one. They also show up when we become a parent, because similar situations to our own early childhood are bound to arise. Our desire to be a healthy, loving partner or a loving, supportive parent can provide a great incentive to do the work to resolve these inner conflicts so we can be present and be contributing positively in these significant relationships. What I'm going to show you now is a simple map which reveals how you can have a strong, healthy sense of worth, which is not dependent on others' approval, while also being energized to continue to grow in the areas of your life that are most important to you. I've called this diagram Core Clarity because it clarifies the key division we need to make within ourselves. This clarity is required to break the confusion, the mingling of our worth and our works. Any diagram of anything is a deliberate simplification of some aspect of reality for a particular purpose. Life is complex, and complexity can be a problem due to confusion and overwhelm. We need to simplify and name things so we can have the necessary clarity to make decisions and act effectively in the world. This diagram can give you a way of seeing yourself which will free you to love yourself in a healthy way and energize you to be more active, more creative, and live a more fulfilling life. You see the center, which I've called your core worth. This is your core inherent worth, which you were born with, your birthright as a member of humanity. We see this in babies when they're born and in young children, despite their lack of skill and lack of contribution materially to our family or society. Unique and priceless. Every child is unique and priceless in their own way. Each person has potentially something beautiful and marvelous to contribute to us all. Your inherent worth is divided from your works, which are your thoughts, feelings, and actions, which also includes your words. These are apparent, that is, appearing visible to yourself and sometimes to others. Your thoughts, feelings, words, and actions are all imperfect and improvable. As the perceived quality of an action or output goes up or down, its perceived value goes up or down. In contrast, your core worth is unimprovable. No action, good or bad, makes a person's core worth go up or down. I'm now going to contrast the number of aspects of our core worth against aspects of our works. Firstly, our core worth is unconditional. It's abundant. It's always more than enough. It's ever present and cannot be diminished or increased. But our works are conditional on our circumstances, our opportunities, and our efforts. For us to see and appreciate our core worth requires compassion and kindness toward ourselves. But to be able to grow the quality of our works requires dispassion, objective observation, and in relatively comparing our work with similar work produced by others, which we see as of higher quality. This requires dispassionate analysis and judgment. Seeing and appreciating our core worth is a loving act towards ourselves, which makes possible unconditional love for others. We express this love outwardly through our giving. These works, being expressed in words and actions, though being imperfect, can be motivated and energized by our love for others and a desire for their betterment. Great art, music, and science, or any work of service, can flow from this loving generosity. This is a sustainable motivation system. Healthy, unconditional self-love, motivating love for others, skillfully expressed, given freely, but not requiring approval from others. If approval comes, that is a bonus, but should not be expected or required. By giving loving support to ourselves in daily affirming the absolute truth of our abundant core worth, we can reconnect with the energy of that self-appreciation, which frees us from being needy in our interactions with others and more generous in areas we desire to be expressive in. It also energizes us to learn and grow our skills in those areas, so our expression and contribution can be more easily received and appreciated. Seeking mastery in some skill set is a wonderful way to focus our energies and increase our sense of purpose and fulfillment. Lastly, I want to expand this diagram to include others and show you how to relate to others in a way that is healthy and satisfying. Recognizing and appreciating your own core worth creates the capacity to see it and appreciate it in others. The key is in seeing your own core worth is equal to that of others, whoever it might be. Our works are not equal to their works. They vary in value across the many dimensions of our activities. But ultimately, they are equal in that they are all imperfect and improvable, no matter how high the achievement. So two symbols can sum up the two skill sets and attitudes we need to develop. One is for equality. It's about connection, compassion, love, and support. And the other is for hierarchy. This is about discernment, judgment, analysis, learning, and growing. To learn, we must rank things in quality and importance. We must compare and prioritize. This is the healthy application of comparison. In comparing the quality and value of our works in comparison to the best, highest quality works of others. The trap is when we attribute our personal core worth to the value of our works. That is the comparison cage. We may now see this clearly, and I hope this clarity dispels the confusion which may have ensnared you, and that you now feel free to love and support yourself unconditionally and compassionately, while also knowing you're free to judge and analyze your thoughts, feelings, and actions dispassionately, so you may continue to learn and grow. And while also judging the works of others dispassionately, seeking to learn from their successes and failures, while at the same time recognizing and appreciating their personal, inherent, unimprovable core worth. This harmony within yourself between these two seemingly contradictory drives creates the potential for harmony between yourself and the people and the world around you. This is a way to living a free, fulfilling, creative, and harmonious life. Seeing and acknowledging the deep truth of what I've revealed here is one thing, but living this truth is another. Many of you will find you can step into this understanding and will find you can make the necessary adjustments to apply it into the details of your life. But some will find there are seemingly insurmountable barriers which frustrate and sabotage your attempts at living out this truth of your abundant core worth. These will mostly arise due to unresolved issues from early in your life. Your past is casting a long shadow into your present and is therefore even shaping your future. It's very important you realize that these are resolvable, but realistically, it often requires help from someone experienced in facilitating healthy resolution of these often painful and hard to access past issues. Sometimes help is also required in building effective new perspectives and behaviors into the details of your everyday life. I offer powerful resolution and transformational processes through my coaching and mentoring practice. You can find out more at the link in the description below. Click the like button if you found this helpful, and hit the subscribe and bell buttons if you'd like to receive more of my content. You are welcome to comment or ask questions in the comments section below this video. I'm Martin Hume Cobb, and this is Wisdom Lab, over and out.